What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now it's time for AEW Grand Slam as AEW presents its second super show from Arthur Ashe Stadium featuring 5 championship matches. Join us there as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason why Paige joined AEW, CM Punk never going back to AEW, a major championship change, a huge milestone, and much more. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a Night of Champions. A Grand Slam was a true Night of Champions as Dynamite featured 5 big title matches, upping the ante for the show and giving fans plenty of reasons to tune in. Every match delivered the goods, and while none of the matches were pay-per-view quality or length, there was something special and meant more than any regular television match. Now, as we've noted before, AEW can't put this type of show on every week, but it truly felt special, much like Clash at the Champions show on TBS and the original run of Saturday Night's Main Event. Number 2, The Wizard conjures a win. I leave it to the Wizard to conjure a win out of thin air. Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli seemed to have a victory at the end when Jericho capitalized on referee Aubrey Edwards having a back turn, hitting a low blow followed by the Judas effect for the win. The story of Jericho bending and breaking the rules for their championship that was built on a code of honor shows how villainous Jericho is and why he's still one of the best heels in the business. Number 3, Wheeler's the real deal. Can Wheeler here to wrestle? Of course, he's one of AEW's young lions who can entertain in the ring. The only question has to be how much personality the solid striker has. He just showed fire last night during his promo against MJF, keeping with the salt of the earth in their war words, but doing things his way, taking the high road while letting the fans know he's more than a mid-carder. Number 4, Saraya is all elite. Now, the rumors are true, but major props to AEW for keeping Saraya, aka former WWE superstar Paige's debut, a secret. It's unknown just what Saraya is going to do in AEW, i.e. wrestle or work as a personality, but she has plenty to offer in any role and the fans love her. This was a big win for AEW and a great way to counter some of WWE's recent momentum. Number 5, a wild women's match. Last night's 4-way match for the AEW Interim Women's Championship was relatively brief, but it gave Toni Storm an impressive win by pinning Dr. Britt Baker while also showing Athena and Serena Deeb's skills. While the match was largely a prop to bring Saraya into AEW, it was still an entertaining title match that suggested any one of the 4 competitors could have won. Number 6, amazing announcing. AEW stepped up its Grand Slam edition of Dynamite with 5 big bouts, and AEW's announcers rose to the occasion, upping their commentary game. While Jim Ross wasn't around to call the match, the announce team did a fabulous job describing the holds, detailing the various matches' backstories, and adding excitement to every event without making themselves the center of attention. Number 7, no holds barred. Moxley vs Danielson was a match where no quarter was given or asked for by either member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Lord Regal set the stage when he told AEW's announcers that both men were there to set an example to the entire wrestling world and that the only way to do so was to hold nothing back. Moxley vs Danielson was the strong style match fans expect and a magnificent main event for Grand Slam. Also, Moxley winning was the right choice. But that was the good. What about the bad is number 1, cheap heat. MJF is the king of cheap heat, so we're not surprised when the Salt of the Earth made some very personal attacks on Wheeler Yuta's friends Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson and Lord Regal. However, having MJF knock announcer Tony Schiavone was kind of the cheap heat that AEW has been getting carried away with. Whether it's Stockley Hathaway threatening Schiavone or beating down AEW technicians, these angles quickly lose their punch, no pun intended. Well, unless AEW plans on using this as a storyline, it needs to stop. There was nothing downright ugly as Grand Slam was one of Dynamite's best shows in a long time. AEW is on a roll despite the CM Punk drama, and last night's show suggests everyone in the company is committed to putting out the best wrestling in the world. What do you guys think of Grand Slam last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our top story looks at the real reason why Paige is in AEW. At top of today's news is Saraya, aka former superstar Paige, debut in AEW at Night 1 at Grand Slam and the real reason she's now all elite. Now, in case you missed the 21st September special episode of Dynamite, Saraya appeared following the AEW Interim Women's Champion Toni Storm's win in a fatal 4-way match against Dr. Britt Baker, Serena Deeb and Athena. The heels beat down Storm and Athena until Saraya showed up, bailing out of the ring. The fans went bananas, welcoming Saraya to the Arthur Ashe Stadium, leading to the question, what's next for her? Although Saraya has not commented on her decision to sign with AEW, we believe the main reason is that AEW offered her something substantial to do. Money doesn't seem to be an issue, as she's previously said she would consider AEW if the money is right. At the same time, Triple H appears to be willing to break out the checkbook to sign the right superstars. But in her case, the WWE did nothing with her for several years following her injury. While she initially worked as an authority figure and later as a manager for the Kabuki Warriors, she disappeared from WWE television. In fact, her only TV appearance was on FS1's wrestling commentary show WWE Backstage. Well, other than a Skype appearance on SmackDown in 2020 during the pandemic. While the WWE has a no-contact policy for Saraya in order to protect her from being accidentally injured, the company's decision not to utilize her seems to have frustrated her. It's unknown if Triple H made any overtures to Saraya after he took over the WWE's creative department, and if he did, what plans he had for her. Ultimately, AEW has plans for her. The big question is whether these plans involve her wrestling. She had to retire from the ring after suffering what appeared to be a career-ending neck injury. However, she's discussed mounting a comeback for some time, occasionally updating fans that she is training in an attempt to be ring-ready. If she is cleared by AEW doctors, there's already one wrestler who seems ready to rumble. Former AEW Women's Champion Dr. Britt Baker is a big fan of Saraya and told Sportskeeda Wrestling, "I'm a huge fan of Paige. I love her. I love her mom. I've wrestled her mom before actually, but she's such an inspirational female. That girl has gone through it all and she's still, pardon my swearing, but she's still a bad bitch, and she's had that everything rolls off your back energy." It's obvious that Saraya signed with AEW because the promotion offered her a chance to get involved on television. Whether this includes competing in the ring is something Saraya and AEW doctors will have to determine. However, WrestleTalk's Andy Datson provided some good reasons why Saraya is in AEW to wrestle, commenting on her elaborate entrance and noting she's been added to the roster page, and she's got a win-loss record. Why would someone who isn't going to wrestle need a win-loss record? Or will she wrestle? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, CM Punk never coming back. Now, there's interesting speculation concerning CM Punk's future in AEW, as Pro Wrestling Torch's Wade Keller recently analysed AEW's Grand Slam's commentary about the AEW World Championship. I think this is noteworthy, but not surprising that he excluded CM Punk's name, as he talked about some of the biggest names who have held a title. That's a bit of a tell, as I talked with Jason Powell yesterday about, I'm not expecting CM Punk to wrestle in AEW again. I'm not saying it's a 100% sure thing, but everything is pointing in the direction of some sort of buyout on his contract. We'll learn more eventually about that situation. Given what we know so far of CM Punk's actions at All Out's media scrum, it doesn't take Nostradamus to predict his future in AEW is actually bleak. However, as fans have seen countless times before, rare is the occasion where a promoter will pass on an opportunity to make money, even if it involves someone with a history of being difficult to deal with. If Keller is correct, the tantalizing question is how AEW will handle Punk's departure, especially if he threatens to sue the company. Will AEW negotiate an exit for Punk or fight things out in court? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Jon Moxley wins an AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley is your new AEW World Champion after defeating fellow Blackpool Combat Club member Bryan Danielson in Grand Slam's Night 1 main event. Moxley became AEW's first 3-time World Champion in a hardcore match when neither man asked for or showed any mercy. The brilliant bout ended after Moxley delivered a paradigm shift to Bryan on the entrance ramp and rolled him into the ring to knock him out with the Bulldog Sleeper. After the match, both men showed mutual respect, with Danielson putting the belt around Moxley's waist, shaking the winner's hand and hugging him before raising his arm. While MJF holds the casino ladder match chip he won at All Out, he didn't use it to get a match against Moxley after his win. Much like the Money in the Bank contract, the chip allows MJF to get a World Championship match at any time of his choosing during a sanctioned AEW match. Also, a bit of a spoiler, so if you want to carry on, please check the timestamps in the description, as it looks like AEW already has Moxley's first opponent lined up. According to Wrestling News, Hangman Adam Page won the Golden Ticket Battle Royal at Night 2 of Grand Slam, earning a World Championship match, which you'll likely get on the 18th October episode of Dynamite. And finally, Chris Jericho's major milestone. Last but not least, congratulations to Chris Jericho on capturing the Ring of Honor World Championship, a feat which makes the Wizard the first wrestler to hold a WWE, WCW, World Heavyweight, AEW World Heavyweight, and Ring of Honor World Championships. While Jericho's WCW World title win happened during the Invasion angle, after it was bought out by WWF, it's still an impressive feat. But there you have it folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, as well as our review of Dynamite's Grand Slam. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.